Welcome to the afterlife. You're being reincarnated as a sperm whale, the largest toothed predator in the history of life on Earth. Right now, you're 13 feet long and you weigh about as much as a golden retriever, and you cannot echolocate. Your mum just pushed you out tail first into the open Pacific, which is already a terrible place to start, and something in the dark has already noticed you exist. So, how do you survive long enough to become the most dangerous thing that ever lived? It starts with not drowning in the first 4 minutes. You don't get a moment to find your feet. Or fins, whatever. Your mum nudges you toward the surface because air comes before everything else, and you break through somewhere in the North Pacific with no fanfare and no splash pad, and no one burying you in a pile of dirt. At least there's that. Right now, you are 13 feet long and you weigh about a ton, which sounds like a lot until you understand that the things already circling your pod weigh 6 tons each and have been running this exact play since before your mum was born. They're orcas. And orcas don't hunt sperm whales. They hunt sperm whale calves, specifically, which is a difference that matters enormously to you right now. Their whole plan is separation. Get you away from the adults, and the rest takes care of itself. They are very good at this. You are very bad at swimming in a straight line. So what does your pod do? The adult females form a circle, heads out, tails in, with you and any other calves pushed into the middle. It's called the Marguerite Formation, and it means anything trying to get to you has to go through a wall of the largest toothed animals alive. Each tail can kill a great white shark. The orcas know this. They circle for a while, then they leave. You've been alive for maybe 20 minutes, and you've already survived your first coordinated predator attack. About a third of sperm whale calves don't make it through the first year. The math is not comforting, but you made it, so let's keep going. The female who put herself between you and the orcas without hesitating, that's not your mom. She's older, probably 50, maybe more, and she's been on this route so many times, the underwater mountains below are basically landmarks to her. She made the call and everyone moved. You don't get any of this yet. You just know she smells familiar, and you're going to follow her for a very long time. Feeding is a whole thing. Your mom doesn't have normal nipples. She has muscle slits that she squeezes to shoot milk at you while both of you are moving underwater. The milk is about 45% fat. Regular cow's milk is 3%. This is less milk and more something you'd have to chew, except you can't chew because you don't have teeth yet. You drink it in short, fast bursts, come up for air, go back down, repeat. You'll do this for years. It is not pretty. Nothing about being a baby sperm whale is pretty. What you do have, sitting inside that huge block of your forehead, is the most powerful sound system ever built by nature. You just can't use it right yet. The organ up there, that giant oil-filled thing taking up nearly a third of your head, is called the spermaceti organ. Right now, the sounds coming out of it bounce back all wrong and tell you almost nothing useful. The adults around you are drawing a detailed map of the seafloor a kilometer away in real time. The spermaceti organ is also, as it happens, the exact reason humans will eventually build whole industries around killing you. But that's a problem for later. Right now, it's just the weird oil sac in your head that doesn't work yet, and you've got more pressing things to deal with. The orcas came back the next morning. Same circle, same result. You pushed into the middle, tails out, nobody moved. You could feel their sonar against your skin, faster and higher than your pod's clicks, like something scanning you for a weak spot. They circled for 40 minutes, then left. Your matriarch didn't move until they were completely gone, then made a slow repeating click pattern, and the pod started moving again like nothing happened. Okay, that one was fine. Let's try a harder one. 3 months later, the orcas come back with more of them, and they've clearly been thinking about this. They split into 2 groups. One pulls the adult's attention, the other looks for gaps. Your matriarch reads it before they even finish setting up. Her clicks change, and 2 younger females tighten the inner ring around you instantly. One orca passes close enough that the wave of water from its body pushes you sideways. A tail connects with something behind you. The orcas pull back, look at the situation, and leave. You probably have a mild case of PTSD. Your brain is too small to hold onto it for long though. Right now it's basically running 2 programs. Don't get separated, and keep up. Both are fully lit up. By 6 months you've survived 5 encounters. You know the tighten up click. You know the matriarch is always right about when to hold still, and when to move. Your own clicks are starting to come back with useful information sometimes. The edge of a reef, a current, once the huge shape of a whale shark passing below. Your brain saved it. You are slowly and noisily turning into something the ocean might one day have to respect. Not yet though, but you're not dead either. which at this point is genuinely the whole goal. The spermaceti organ stops being a mystery the first time you actually use it right. You're about 3 years old. You've been practicing clicks the way you practice swimming, constantly, getting it wrong, trying again. And then one afternoon in deep water, something clicks into place. Literally. The beam shoots out clean and straight and comes back with information so clear it stops you mid-stroke. You can feel the shape of a school of fish, 200 meters below. Not hear it, feel it. The sound comes back through your lower jaw and lands in your inner ear like a full picture, not just a noise. You go back and do it again. Same fish, same depth, same shape. You then spend the next hour using the most powerful sensing system in the animal kingdom to look at rocks, because you cannot help yourself. So here's what that organ actually is. It's basically a lens, a giant oil-filled lens that takes the clicks made in your nose and focuses them into a tight beam of sound. The oil inside, the spermaceti, changes thickness depending on temperature, which changes how the beam bends, which means you can actually aim it. Wide sweep for getting around, tight focus beam for hunting. And when you lock that tight beam onto something close and fire at full power, the sound alone knocks it out. You are not chasing prey, you are pointing a biological cannon at it and waiting for it to stop moving. The click itself at full power is around 230 decibels. A gunshot up close is about 140. A jet engine taking off is about 150. Your click isn't louder than a jet engine the way a shout is louder than a whisper. It's louder the way a completely different thing is more than another thing. It is the loudest sound ever recorded from any living animal, and you make it with your face. You do this all the time. Every dive, every hunt, hundreds of clicks per minute bouncing off the seafloor and coming back as a detailed map you read without even thinking about it the way you breathe. The ocean is not dark to you. The ocean is loud and you are the loudest thing in it, and the map never stops updating. Hunting near the surface works fine for a while. Fish, medium squid, whatever's around, but you're growing fast, 30 feet by age 5, and the surface stops being enough. The real food is down, way down. So how do you get there? Let's go see. Your body was built for deep water in ways that would kill anything else. Your heart rate drops to around 10 beats per minute when you dive deep. Your spleen, which in most animals just cleans blood, squeezes like a fist and pushes a stored supply of oxygen-rich blood into your body. Your lungs don't fight the pressure, they just collapse, on purpose. The air gets pushed into the hard upper parts of your airways that can't be crushed, and your body runs on the oxygen already stored in your blood and muscles at levels that would worry a doctor if you were human. You are not holding your breath the way a person holds their breath. You have just solved the problem differently. No doom scrolling at 3 kilometers down, just the beam and the dark and whatever's moving in it. You go down, and down, light is gone by 200 meters and you don't care. 500. 1,000. Pressure that would crush an unprepared submarine. Your ribs fold inward instead of breaking. 2,000 meters, just above freezing. Completely dark, completely fine. And somewhere below you, something enormous is moving fast and you've already locked onto it. Giant squid. This one is 10 feet, which is a size you can handle. When your tight beam hits it at full power, it jerks and goes stiff. Stunned, arms not working right, and you close the gap in seconds. The hooked rings on its tentacles dig into your face and jaw before it goes down. You felt this before. Every adult sperm whale carries the record of these hunts in round scars pressed into their skin. Marks from squid the size of dining tables. Things that fought hard in the dark before going down. The biggest males carry scars suggesting squid larger than anything ever caught. Something is down there. Deeper than you've been. You file that away. Now there's one other thing your body makes that you should probably know about. Deep in your gut. Because of all the hard squid beaks and hooks you're swallowing, your body makes a thick, waxy substance to protect itself. It builds up slowly over years into a dense grey lump. It smells like the deep ocean. Kind of salty, kind of woody, kind of strange. You eventually push it out into the water. It floats. It washes up on beaches. For centuries, humans collected it and put it in perfume because it makes scent stick to skin. Better than anything else they had. A big chunk sells for tens of thousands of dollars. People have found it on a beach and never had to work again. You make it the same way you make everything, automatically without thinking, as a side effect of just being you. Someone finds it, and their whole life changes. You're already back at 3 kilometers looking for more squid. No Chad face required. You don't even have the jaw muscles for it. You are now the most dangerous thing in this ocean. Nothing targets you. Nothing tests you. The ocean has quietly organized itself around the fact that you exist and you move through it like a fact. Big, loud, constant, unstoppable. And then they showed up. Small boats, moving against the wind in ways nothing alive moves, smelling wrong in a way that had no name in any sound your matriarch had ever made. They came from the north at first, shorter than you are now, maybe 70 feet end to end, but moving with a purpose that nothing in your life had prepared you for. Your matriarch heard them before you did. Her clicks shifted mid-stroke to a pattern you'd never heard from her, and the pod pulled tight without anyone asking why. You didn't have a word for this yet. You'd build one fast. You were 30 years old the first time a whaling ship found your pod. 50 feet long, 40 tons. Nothing had come at you in over a decade. Orcas gave you space. Sharks didn't register. You had basically forgotten what it felt like to be the smaller thing in any situation. And then the small boat dropped off the side of the ship, and the men started rowing toward you, and your matriarch made a sound you had never heard her make. Not the tighten up click. Something older. Something that meant go, and go right now, and don't look back at what's behind you. So why you specifically? Not humpbacks, not blue whales, not any of the other large animals in this ocean. The answer is the thing in your head. One large sperm whale gives over 500 gallons of spermaceti oil, and in the 1700s and 1800s that oil lit the lamps of Europe and America, kept the machines of the Industrial Revolution running, and showed up in everything from candles to skin cream to the best watch lubricant money could buy. It burned cleaner than anything else available. NASA eventually used a version of it in the Voyager spacecraft. The thing that lets you map the seafloor in 3 dimensions was also the most valuable thing you could take out of a living animal, and humans were very good at taking it. By the 20th century, over 1 million sperm whales had been killed. There are currently around 400,000 left. That's like a baby supposed to grow up to be 160 feet tall, getting stopped somewhere around 60. The math shows you where this was heading. The harpoon, when it came fast. You heard it before it hit. A sharp crack, and then a pressure wave that felt wrong in a way sonar couldn't explain. And then, the pod split in every direction your matriarch hadn't already covered in her call. You dove, faster than you'd ever dove on purpose. 200 meters in under 2 minutes, cold water closing over you, and you kept going. 2 of the females didn't regroup in the same spot. You held still at 400 meters and listened. One came back, faint and off, near the surface. The other one didn't come back at all. You waited the way you'd learned. Still, beam running, listening to the whole water column above you. Nothing. The matriarch pointed direction. The pod moved. You were one fewer, and there was no click for that yet. Now, the Essex, 1820. You weren't there, but it traveled through the ocean the way big things do, carried in the click patterns of bulls who were nearby, passed across pods and across years. A sperm whale bull, roughly 85 feet long, rammed the whaling ship Essex twice, head on, full speed, sank it in the middle of the Pacific. The crew survived the sinking and then mostly didn't survive what came after, which is a whole other story. The whale swam away. Okay, that one. Honestly fair. You spend decades being hunted for the oil in your face, and at some point a reasonable animal makes a reasonable call. He hit a ship. Twice. Let's just say he was making a point. When ships were near, the clicks in your pod changed. Shorter, tighter, sent low and fast through the water where other pods miles away could pick them up. The whole ocean rerouted around the bad news. Pods that had never met shared what they knew, the same way your matriarch shared everything, not as a lesson, just as a fact, put into the water and left there for whoever needed it. The ban on commercial sperm whale hunting came in 1986. The ships got quieter. That specific sound, harpoon cable under tension, mostly stopped. Your matriarch noted the quiet the same way she noted everything. Stored in behavior, built into the route she picked each year without explaining why. You survived something your body was never built to survive. That's not an inspiring line. It's just what happened. Let's keep going. Around 40, the math of being a male catches up with you. The matriarch's pod has been your whole world, the only clicks that sound like home. And then, one season, the direction of home feels different, and you follow it, and the pod gets quieter behind you until it's gone. Male sperm whales get pushed out at adolescence and spend years, sometimes decades, alone or in loose groups with other males in cold water, where nobody really likes each other, but the hunting is some of the best on Earth. It is basically the ocean version of moving out. You didn't decide it. You just woke up one day going a different direction. The years alone are not bad. Cold water, deep squid, the best hunting of your life. You're 55 feet now, 50 tons. Your brain, the largest brain of any animal that has ever lived on this planet, weighs about 20 pounds and runs a constant loop of sonar, navigation, and social memory with no off switch. Each of your teeth weighs about a kilogram. Your focused sonar beam can mess up a human diver at 50 meters without touching them. You go back to the nursery pods to mate and you don't stay, and the matriarch logs your click pattern, and calves are born the next year carrying a trace of how you sound without knowing where it came from. No drama, no commitment issues, just how it works. The pods have their own way of talking. Specific click rhythms passed from mum to calf, different enough between groups that you can tell who belongs where just by listening. Your great-grandmother's pod clicked differently from the pod 300 miles north. Your calves click the way you click, which is the way your mum clicked, going back further than anyone has tracked. This isn't something built into your genes. It's learned, passed on, kept alive across generations the same way your matriarch kept the migration routes alive. Not written down anywhere, just known, just carried, just handed forward. Some sperm whales alive today were born before the Second World War. You are 73 years old. You have crossed the Pacific 14 times. You have hunted at 3,000 meters and lived through a whaling fleet and raised 4 calves and passed your way of clicking forward, and your face is covered in scars from every squid that ever fought back. Nothing can stop you. Well, almost nothing. You're crossing a shipping lane you've used for 30 years when the hull hits you. You never heard it coming. The engine ran at a pitch your sonar doesn't flag as anything worth checking, and you were 50 feet down, and then you weren't anything at all. No warning, no lesson. That's just the lane.